Welcome back to Searchlight. It's March 28th. We've got 14 shows, 13 tapes across 11 cities and 7 states. Let's begin. All right, we know a lot of viewers have this one circled today, so let's begin in Germany's Ruhr region. Essen, 1981, the legendary Rock Palace show, the all-night live broadcast by German public television that featured The Who opening for the Grateful Dead, which is actually the third time these two groups have shared the same stage. Now, this broadcast quality video combined with a crisp multi-track mix make this one of the all-time great documentaries of the Dead. And of course, it's Pete Townshend's sit-in during the second set that make this such a memorable show. But it's less about what Pete contributes musically and more about what he contributes spiritually that make this so special. Just look at Garcia here giving us half a windmill during Not Fade Away with Pete there by his side. But we would be remiss if we gave Pete all the credit for this animated second set, because of course we've got the Flying Karamazov brothers, the juggling comedy troupe, sitting in with Bill and Mickey during the drums portion of the show, turning the stage into somewhat of a circus here. But the second set really is phenomenal and full of great moments. You've got Bob teaching Pete the chords to Wharf Rat here on the fly, and then Pete utilizing the bridge of Wharf Rat to have a smoke break, and then really enjoying himself as Bob harmonizes with Jerry there. And that's what we'd like to highlight. Let's fast forward a bit deeper into this Wharf Rat and take a listen and a look at Pete Townshend playing rhythm guitar for the Grateful Dead in Essen, Germany, 1981. Okay, let's head back across the Atlantic. Springfield, Mass, 1973, Dave's Picks, Volume 16. A show that nearly didn't happen. Now, with the day off on the 27th, remember we're in Baltimore on the 26th, Garcia and Robert Hunter decide to forego plane travel, rent a car, and drive up to Springfield. Northbound on 295 here, going 71 and a 60 just outside of Mount Laurel Township, Garcia gets pulled over by New Jersey State Trooper Richard Procaccino. Now, reports vary on what was found inside Jerry's attaché case, but he and Hunter were eventually bailed out by legendary New Jersey concert promoter John Shear, and they made it to Springfield in time for the show, and what a show it was. We've got another sweetless prelude here, setting the stage for a doozy of a dark star, nearly 19 minutes of pre-verse jamming. But what we'd like to highlight is Donna's portion of the show here in the first set, a Loretta Lynn song we wish they'd played more. Let's take a listen to Donna singing You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man, the #1 rated version on Hetty Versions. Okay, let's go to New York City, 1972, the 7th and final show from the Academy of Music run, the last tune-up before Europe 72. And for those who are upset with the lack of exploration on the 27th, have a listen to this 29-minute other one. Plenty of jamming there. But we'd like to direct your attention to the first set. Another fantastic cover of a classic country tune today. This one, Hank Williams, You Win Again. And longtime viewers of the program know we've always been partial to the May 4th performance from Paris. But have a listen to Garcia's solo here. Fewer notes, a bit more distortion, and overall, more intensity. Okay, let's go out to California for 3 shows today. We'll start in Marin, the first show of 1984, a year that's been somewhat neglected as evidenced by the thin catalog of official releases, and a year that longtime blogger Scary Lawyer Guy calls his favorite. He argues that while 84 certainly doesn't have the technical proficiency of 77 or the jazziness of 73, the band is constantly performing on a razor's edge, playing with an urgency that other years lack. He believes that it's the imperfections and the messiness and the dislocation that make this such a special year. And we're inclined to agree with Scary Lawyer Guy. We believe that it's only ignorance that would cause a listener to overlook a year that toggles between jaw-dropping intensity and mind-numbing drift. Let's have a look at the top 5 shows from 1984. You've got October 12th there at number 5, The Excellent Morning Dew. You've got Dave's Picks 35 there at number 3 in Philadelphia. Of course, July 13th there at number 1, The Return of Dark Star. But don't forget about October 27th there at number 2, the first show with an official tapers section. A decision, though made inadvertently, is still considered the greatest marketing move in music history. So plenty to look forward to in 1984, but unfortunately no circulating soundboard from today's show, the first Rex Benefits show, one that features the last and only electric version of Babe It Ain't No Lie. But let's go back across the Golden Gate Bridge to San Francisco's Excelsior neighborhood. 1967, a 6-night residency at a short-lived club called the Rock Garden. Now there's more we can say about this club, and we will on a later show, but no tape from tonight or the following 5. Now let's go to Modesto Junior College, 1969, a night where 500 youngsters packed the Student Center to listen to some of Garcia's spiraling guitar work. Let's have a listen to an excerpt from the Reverend Gary Davis cover, Death Don't Have No Mercy. Let's head back to the East Coast, 1986, night 2 of 2 here at the Cumberland County Civic Center. An interesting show that features a playing in the band that weaves its way through the second set. Really a great performance with a nice audience tape to boot. Speaking of audience tapes, let's catch back up with the Oatey Brothers here on the 1985 Spring Tour, one of 4 shows from the Nassau Coliseum today. And if you're surprised by this Truckin' Smokestack Lightning opening sequence, we have an explanation. It's Matt Kelly, one of the founding members of Kingfish, joined the band to play harmonica on Smokestack Lightning. Let's have a listen and a look, courtesy of Kevin Tobin, of Matt Kelly doing his best Howlin' Wolf here in Uniondale. We'll come back to Uniondale, but let's dip down below the Mason-Dixon line, 1989, the tighter of the 2 shows from this Omni run. We really like this Stuck Inside a Mobile, a great mix by Dan Healy with a generous amount of reverb on Bob's vocals.
And when Mona say come see her in a honky-tonk lagoon, where I can watch her walls for free, the Panamanian moon. And I said, ah, come on now. You know about my debutante. She says your debutante knows what you need, but I know what you want. Oh, mama, can it really be the end?
We'll briefly pass through Hampton here on our way back north. 1988, a show that doesn't have all the anomalies like we heard the prior 2 nights, but a fine show in its own right that features a first set Box of Rain here prompted by the fans. There's a full video of this show courtesy of Kevin Tobin. You can find a link to that in the description. let's head back to Uniondale. We've already covered 85. We'll pick back up on the spring 1990 tour, a tour that's celebrated for a number of reasons, one of those being the return of Loose Lucy, and we've got another fantastic performance here. I want you to listen to how each musician fills space perfectly, particularly Brent and Bobby in between the vocal lines.
I got Joe coming home last night. Shadow in the alley turned out all my lights. Round and round and round and round. Baby, don't take much to get me on the ground.
Okay, let's finish up here in Uniondale before we close out in Albany. 1991, the last time Terrapin Station would be played as an encore, and really an excellent version here that just kind of dissolves and fades into the night at the end. 1994, a bit of a Rain theme here in the second set with Box of Rain, and then Rain, the Beatles cover, and then the Paul McCartney cover, That Would Be Something. All right, let's wrap up in Albany 1993 with an excellent drums, particularly towards the end, with a bit of panning and ping-ponging between the left and right channels that can be fairly disorienting. Let's pick up around 10 minutes and 20 seconds in this. All right, that does it for March 28th. 14 shows across 11 cities, 7 states, and 2 countries.